Hello there, guys, and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my preview of the Chelsea versus Arsenal game, with the kickoff being at lunchtime tomorrow, Saturday, to watch, more detailed on what Arsenal fans think about the game, and pretty much just Louis' preview with Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV. Click the card here, or it will be, at the end screen in the end. But yeah, to find out more about that. But today, what I'm going to talk about Arsenal. Obviously, they're our third, 9 points behind us. You all know that. What Wenger said in his press conference and about their injury news. So obviously, Ramsey picked up an injury against Watford, and Cazorla is still out injured. He's on a long-term injury. So they're both out. Xhaka is suspended for the game. Giroud and Oxlade-Chamberlain are facing a fitness test, but according to Wenger, they should both be all right. He also said Welbeck might well come back into the group, like be in the squad, because he wasn't even in the squad against Watford. So yeah, for me personally, I expect a different team from them than who played Watford. Because if you lose to Watford, I just can't imagine them keeping the same team. So it's quite clear that they're going to have to change something. But yeah, talking about Antonio Conte's press conference earlier. So best news, everyone's fit, everyone is available. Even David Luiz, who obviously picked up that slight injury in the first half against Liverpool, played the game on, and in the post-match interview after the game confirmed that he's been carrying an injury for a while, probably since the Aguero challenge. Remember, until a few weeks ago, he was still playing with a bandage around his knee. So I think it was probably that injury that came up a little bit again against Liverpool. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is. But, he said he can't really train a lot. So, fair play to him for carrying through. I've also read that Hazard is playing with a minor injury and playing through the pain kind of thing. So maybe that was a reason why he was subbed off against Liverpool, which would make sense, because otherwise, like you saw me say in the review, I was really confused and baffled by Hazard being taken off. But then he talked about transfers. Obviously, transfer window is shut now. Thankfully, it was so boring. So at least there's no stupid speculation about Costa leaving or who else. But he was still asked about it. He just said he didn't speak to the club about Celtic's Moussa Dembele, who we were linked with on deadline day. So that just proves that the media like to talk a little bit of bullshit sometimes. But he did confirm that there was interested in Craig Gordon from Celtic to help out Begovic in his wish to play for a different team, to play every week. But Celtic said he's not for sale, and that's pretty much the end of the story. He wasn't the only keeper we looked at. He didn't mention any other names, but that's what it is. Other thing he said, it's a big chance and a good chance for the team to show what a good shape we're in, which he couldn't be more right in. But I think he feels confident going into the game, which I like, which I'm very happy with. He talked about Frank Lampard, his retirement, says he's a legend of the club, and it's always a pity when players like that finish their career. He said he met him yesterday, but he doesn't know his thinking, whether he wants to go into coaching at Chelsea. Everyone knows his thinking. He wants to come back to Chelsea, but maybe Conte doesn't know, or he just didn't want to talk about it. But coming to our team and coming to the lineup that I expect, and this time not the same lineup I expected, the lineup I want. Because what I want is a change of formation. I don't want us to play the 3-4-3, because I don't think it works that well against big teams. And we've seen it. Other than Man United, which, they just had a bad day, and we were a little bit fortunate to score after 30 seconds, because I'm not sure how the game would have gone. Otherwise, not that we would have lost, I don't think so. But we probably wouldn't have beaten them 4-0. But against these big teams, the 3-4-3 hasn't worked that well, we just beat Spurs at home, we lost to them away, we drew to Liverpool, even though we should have won or could have won with the penalty. We still weren't the team on the front foot, obviously being away at Anfield. But for me personally, whenever we make the change and switch to a 3-5-2 against the big teams, we always seem to play better instantly. Why that is the case, in my opinion, is because the big teams play a lot of possession football. They play out from the middle. And we only have two centre-mids, and as good as they are in Matic and Kante, and they can cover a lot of ground, and Kante had the most interceptions and tackles of any player in the whole season, and with, I think, 14 out of 16 attempted, 14 successful tackles out of 16, he attempted. Which is obviously great, but you could still see once Fabregas was on and we switched the formation, it was just a lot better. We got more control of the game. We managed to pass it around, but the main thing isn't just that. But when the other team plays in possession around midfield, our wing backs do tend to come in. Hazard tends to drift in to defend there, and Alonso stays out wide. But Moses sometimes has to and does drift in a little bit to create more men in midfield to create an advantage. But if you do play a 3-5-2 from the beginning, it's just a lot easier because you have more men in midfield, and that's how it's a lot easier for us to control the game, which I think frees up Moses a lot more, so he doesn't have that many defensive duties, which, as you could see against Tottenham and against Liverpool, he's not incredibly good at. He's good in one-on-one, but his aerial, abilities and his positional awareness isn't always perfect. So I think that could help that out. And also going forward, our wingers don't really get to do a lot, mainly because we don't have the ball so much, and then we don't really manage to get it out to them. And even if we do, by the time we're there, they usually defend well, and we just find it a lot harder to use our wingers properly. And the ones that actually do stuff on the wing is the wing backs. So I don't really see the point of the wingers. And also, in the 3-4-3, there's just no room for Fabregas, in my opinion. Against Arsenal, let's be honest, Conte will not start Fabregas in a 3-4-3. Yeah, he just won't, because he wants to be cautious and he doesn't want to be caught out with having a slower and worse at defending centre midfielder in Fabregas instead of Matic or Kante. So I think if we do switch to the 3-5-2, it would work incredibly well. Obviously, then you have the problem: who plays next to Costa up front? Is it Hazard? Is it Pedro? Possibly even Willian, even though I wouldn't want Willian. But it could be either one of Hazard and Pedro. In theory, because Hazard is the better player, even though Pedro is still a great player, you'd have to go with Hazard. But I don't know. Pedro at the moment just seems more dangerous. Hazard carrying a little injury. I'd still go with Hazard. But you can see it. I'm going to put it here. The lineup that I'd go with now, obviously, Courtois and goal, the back three staying the same, in Cahill, David Luiz and Azpilicueta. Wing back staying the same as well. Victor Moses on the right, Marcos Alonso on the left. And then the three centre mids, a bit more defensive, Nemanja Matic and N'Golo Kante, just covering that defensive work, and Fabregas just ahead of them. Because what you could see against Liverpool as well, Kante going forward just isn't that good. He has these, against big teams where he's under more pressure, his passing isn't great. And just because they are good at defending, we still need to get the ball forward. If you want to score a goal, you need the ball to go forward. It's as simple as that. And Kante and Matic aren't that great at it, let's be honest. And if we have Fabregas in there, it just, even if we don't have wingers and we have less officially attacking players in the 3-5-2, I still think we will be able to create many more chances. So, like I said, Fabregas just ahead of them, and then the two strikers, or like the main striker in Costa, and then someone to play off him, move left, move right, be behind him, be next to him, be free roaming a little bit. I would choose Hazard, could just as well be Pedro. But yeah, that's what I would go with. But I'm about 95% sure that the exact same team that played against Liverpool will play against Arsenal, with the exception of, there's always the question, will it be Pedro or will it be Willian? You heard my thoughts after the Liverpool game. I really wasn't happy with Willian in that game, so I think Pedro deserves to play. Whether Antonio Conte will go with that or not is a different story, but I put that one up here. So exact same, I would go with Pedro, but Courtois, Gary Cahill, David Luiz, Azpilicueta, Victor Moses, Marcos Alonso, not Gary Cahill, Nemanja Matic and N'Golo Kante, and the front three being Hazard, Costa and Pedro. But me personally, like I said, I would prefer to go with the 3-5-2 because I think it would work better. But I'm no football manager. I'm not the manager of Chelsea Football Club. I don't get paid millions a year to decide what team is to play. So Antonio Conte probably knows better, and it's easy for me to say that would work better because it worked better for the last 10 minutes against Liverpool. But that's just me. That's what I would go with. Leave me all of your thoughts, what you'd go with as well, down in the comment section below. Talking about Arsenal, I said it earlier, I do expect a different team from them. Probably a bit more pace up front, possibly Welbeck even starting the game. I'm not so sure. Walker coming back into the team. Obviously, like Robbie said in the preview with Luis, Sanchez, obviously their main man. You always have to think about Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil, how it's actually pronounced in German. But yeah, you always have to look out for those players. But I think in general, I'm a lot more confident than before the Liverpool game. You heard me. I wasn't sure. Are we going to draw? Are we going to nick a win? Are we going to, just win 2-0, 2-1, whatever it was? And we could have done that, but it ended up being a 1-1 draw. But against Arsenal, not because it's Arsenal, but just I don't know. I just feel a lot more confident. And since that Liverpool game, when remember we didn't play the three at the back formation yet, we haven't lost the game at home. And we've also beaten big teams at home. We've beaten United. I talked about them before, even though they weren't in a good, run of form at the time. We beat Everton, who are seventh. We beat them more than convincingly 5-0. We beat Spurs at home. So at home we're just better at the moment. I don't know. I can't really explain it why, because I wouldn't put it down to the atmosphere or something. I just feel like we have a little bit of a different approach. We try to play with the ball a little bit more than we do away, even though not as much, obviously, as when we play Hull. But, those are my feelings. So that's why I'm quite confident going into the game, and I do think we will take the win. Talking about a prediction, it's very difficult. If Giroud does start, I'm not so sure, because if you think about it, last two big games in Tottenham away and Liverpool away, obviously, the 3 goals we conceded in those games were all headers. 2 by Dele Alli and 1 by Firmino. Was it Firmino? I think it was Firmino. So with Giroud, he's great in the air, even though we have 2 players that are incredible in the air in David Luiz and Gareth Cahill. It's not necessarily because they're not good enough in the air. It's just about if Arsenal are smart enough to play it on Moses and Azpilicueta's sides and put Giroud there a lot and put the crosses in there, then they could be very dangerous. You've seen, again, because we have only conceded goals in the air against those teams in the recent past, we are really good at defending when the ball is on the floor. We have a lot of men when we do defend. We are very solid. We are very compact. We do put them under pressure early enough. Not against Spurs, maybe, but against Liverpool, that was good. But once it comes in the air, once it's a good cross is being put in to the side of Azpilicueta's side of the defense and Moses, we do struggle a little bit. Do we have anything to counter that problem? Not really, because we're not going to play John Terry or Zuma instead of Azpilicueta, that's for sure. Because Azpilicueta, other than just not being that tall, is outstanding. Has been, one of our best players all season. And we don't really have anyone to play instead of Moses, even more so because Ivanovic has left. So, and also I wouldn't want anyone else because Moses gives us a lot going forward. So there's not really much to do against that problem. Just try to close them down earlier so they can't put in crosses, and just be aware of that problem, and maybe David Luiz drift out to help Azpilicueta once these crosses come in, because there's not really a lot of players that are dangerous in the air other than Giroud. Of course, Sanchez, Iwobi, could always pop up with a header, but it's more likely if we concede a header that it's coming from Giroud. So just be wary of that, please, team. Be wary of it. If we sort that out, I'm very confident. I do think we can come away with a 2-0 victory, which would be incredible. Obviously, I'd love a repeat of a 6-0 or, just something like that. Because if we do win, we increase our gap from, to Arsenal to 13 bloody points. And 12 points, sorry. 12 points. And let's be honest, that's just too much for anyone to catch us. I don't even think we'll lose 4 more games. And we need to lose 4 more games to catch up that point difference. But yeah, that's really it for me. I hope I didn't not ramble, but talk without putting notes on that, with defensive problems and formation and stuff. It did still make sense. I hope it did. Leave me all of your thoughts on the game down below. On the lineup. Would you go with something that with the one that I hope for, that I'm hoping for, or would you still go for what has been playing against Liverpool? Let me know again. Who would you prefer, Pedro or Willian? What else? Yeah, leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Any other thoughts, of course, down in the comment section below. Match prediction, almost forgot. Match prediction, very important. Leave me all of your match predictions down in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. There will be this thing again. Click it and you'll be subscribed. We'll massively appreciate that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. I can't wait for the game. Let's beat the Gunners. I hate them. Pretty much all of us hate them. So let's just sort it out and kick them out of the title race. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.